So today I'll be telling you guys how I make my notebooks. And that first step is demolding the front and back covers, which you can see here, then getting my binder rings and my paper. We need to align those up, click it in, and there we go, that's it.
Quick story time about why I started making kitty cat keychains. A couple months ago, I was leaving my favorite metaphysical shop when I passed a random guy on the sidewalk. Didn't really think anything of it until I got to a crosswalk when I couldn't cross because there were cars coming. The guy caught up to me and was standing about a foot in front of me. He was probably a foot taller than me, not wearing a mask. He proceeded to ask for money, and I said I didn't carry cash because I didn't have any cash on me, and he proceeded to get closer to me. He only backed off once he realized that my key was in what I call ready to stab position, and I'm assuming women watching this know what I mean when I say that. Once I was able to cross, I basically ran the rest of the way to my car with him yelling obscenities behind me. I got in my car, locked the doors, and basically just cried. I know I may not have been in any actual danger, but I was scared for my life at one point. This made me want to look into better forms of self-defense. I'd been working with resin for a little while when I found this mold, and I thought they'd be a really good form of self-defense and also pretty cute. I'll be honest, I feel a lot safer when I'm even just walking through a parking lot now that I know I have this on my person at all times. I also want to do a little bit more of an informational video on kitty cat keychains, so if you have any specific questions or any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments.
This pretty thing, nice to meet you, mucho gusto. Sweeter than a churro, she call me Papi Chulo. Yeah. Oh, stranger.
Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. I can't let you go now that I got it. All I need is to be struck by your electric light.
I also want to show you guys this ashtray I've been working on. The client wanted gold and red, so I kind of worked a little bit with what I had to make her a gold and red ashtray. I haven't taken it out of the mold. This is my first time taking it out. I don't know how the design turned out because I can't really see, but let's see if I can take this off on camera. Damn, this thing is hard. I'm gonna break it. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I think I got it to unstick like through all sides. Now I just have to pull it out, kinda. Why is this so hard? I don't have enough time. Come on. I'm gonna break a nail. If I break a nail, I'm gonna be so sad. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I got this much off of it. So let me just take off the rest. But this, wow, is cute. Little red detail. Oh my god. I made a Elastigirl.
I have a proposition for those live, laugh, love signs that white bitches got in their house. I think it should be alive. Fuck.
Yo, if you're lucky enough to come across this video, I want you to pause for a second, send it to somebody that you love. The first person that you could think of, send this to them. I need you to just trust me on this, all right? Go ahead. All right, now that it's just us, I want to let you know that without you, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And that I'm so happy that you're just in my life and that you
I'm the girl who has everything. Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore.
on thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares?
Okay, let's make something stupid. I hate this already. I have no idea what I'm doing. Bucket we ball. I didn't save the instructions, but I think this is right. I should probably be wearing gloves. Stir. Ooh, way too much glitter. Maybe I can fix it. Stir. I can't fix it. Whatever, I'm just gonna pour it. It looks bad. Get into those nooks and crannies. Why didn't I wear gloves? Stop floating. Why are they floating? Oh my god, stop doing that. Is this even a funny idea? Or just embarrassing? Maybe if I put something on top it can keep them flat. It can't. Oh, I'm sorry, this is actually super sick. What the How did I do this? I feel like an artiste.
I don't think there's gonna be any saving this paddle. Unfortunately, you wanna know why? 'Cause you can't. Oh no! Something happened!
Story time! So when I was in 8th grade, all my friends wore thongs, and I thought it was really cool how, like, they bent over, like, on a chair, and just the little thong triangle popped out of the jeans. So I wanted a thong triangle. So then when we went to the mall, we passed Charlotte Russe, and I pretended that I bought thongs all the time and that I needed new ones, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I need to buy thongs. So we went to, like, that $5 bin, and I got white thong with red cherries. So I was like, you guys, I need to change into my thong because, like, my underwear is so uncomfortable. So I went into the bathroom at the mall and I put the thong on. So then the whole time I was so uncomfortable, it was hurting. My parents picked me up from the mall, and then when I got home, I'm like, Mom, I got a thong. This is so uncomfortable and it's hurting. Is it supposed to feel like? And Mom goes, let me see. And I come out and she goes, yeah, well, you put it on. It's officially time for the first episode of Misogynistic Ex-Friend. I'm going to start with the first time I can remember him actively hitting on me. There may have been times before this, but this is the first thing that comes to mind. It was the summer after senior year, and the setting was a bonfire on the beach. There was a lot of weird stuff that took place that night, but the important fact is somehow I wound up around the bonfire alone, very angry. My ex-friend comes up to me and basically says, you want to walk down the beach? I want to talk to you about something. I knew exactly what he was trying to do, and I was also just really mad, so I wasn't having it. I looked at him and I said, what the hell do you want to talk to me about? He made up some crap about the fact that I just got into a fight with my best friend and then put his hand on my leg and got closer to me. I wasn't having it, so I removed his hand and just got up and walked away. He continued to try to come up to me and talk to me and get me alone the rest of the night, but at that point I had already talked to 3 of my guy friends, and they were all making sure I was never alone at any moment. I know this isn't the craziest thing to happen, but I had just gotten into a fight with my best friend and I was really upset, and that's the moment that he chose to pursue me, and I just found that really disrespectful. Okay, it is finally time for episode 2 of Misogynistic Ex-Friend. The story doesn't have a huge series of events, but it gives context to where many of the stories take place. It was my house, and back in pre-COVID times, I would throw parties, and by parties I mean like small gatherings of like 10 to 15 people. I never liked the idea of having a lot of people in my house, so I didn't invite a lot of people. This specific night, everything was normal, no big deal, up until everyone was supposed to leave. I'm not sure why it was like this, but one of my guy friends had to drive a couple people home, then circle back, pick everybody else up, and drive them home. My ex-friend was the last person left in my house because everybody else had gone to the car. He wanted a hug, and I was like, fine, and then he puts his hands on my butt. I was physically trying to push him off me for several minutes before I was able to get him off of me and out the door. This story I've honestly not thought about in years, and it makes me really, really angry to think about again now. Episode 3 of Misogynistic Ex-Friend. This story also takes place at a party at my house. For context, I was extremely crossed at this party, like my brain was in a completely different place. So a bunch of us are hanging out on the couch, some people are playing video games, some people are still out on the back patio, didn't really think anything of it. That was until my misogynistic ex-friend came and sat directly next to me. He proceeded to put his arms around me, whispering shit in my ear and getting creepily close to me. The problem was I was extremely crossed and could physically not get myself off of the couch. He was also looking over my shoulder, so I wasn't able to text any of my friends to come get me off the couch. Luckily, he did look away to talk to somebody at one point, so I was able to text one of my friends that was still on the patio. They immediately came inside and physically pulled me off of the couch. Nothing else specific happened that night, but he did text me that he was upset that my friend had interrupted our cuddle time. And honestly, I can say that even though that happened like 3 years ago, that night still haunts me. but here's a puppy break to make us all a little bit happier. Okay, since so many people are asking for it, and with all the craziness that happened with episode 3, here's part 4 of Misogynistic Ex-Friend. So this happened about 6 months ago on FaceTime. So we're talking like normal, nothing crazy. He makes some stupid jokes that I brush off and ignore. Then towards the end of the conversation, he starts acting weird. He asked me to go to lunch with him, and I knew exactly what he meant, so I asked in what context. He said it would be a date, and I said no thank you because I didn't have feelings for him. The real problem came when he continued to push. He kept insisting that I didn't know the real him and that I had only ever been drunk around me and I didn't know the sober him. Now, I had a real problem with that statement considering I have known this man for almost 8 years, and if he thinks I haven't met the real or sober him in that amount of time, what makes him think I'm going to meet them now? This whole situation was just awful, also considering the fact that he just refused to accept no for an answer. So for anybody that's ever been in a similar situation to this, if you say no to somebody and you really don't want to go out with them, just because they keep pushing doesn't mean you have to. Somebody shouldn't have to wear you down to get you to go on a date with them. Okay, this is episode 6 of Misogynistic Ex-Friend. So it's the same setting as last night's episode except for my best friend's perspective. So if you remember, he had made comments about me and my guy friend to my best friend. Well, after making comments about my ass and about how I was rejected, he then turned to my best friend and said, well, they seem to be getting pretty close. We could get pretty close too if you want. Keep in mind, my best friend has also been turning him down for about 5 years. She doesn't really respond to that, and she just kind of awkwardly smiles, from what I've been told. Then when we were leaving, he gave her a hug and grabbed her ass. She got in the car and looked pretty uncomfortable and looked at her, and I was like, what happened? She told me what had happened, and I was like, nope, not on my watch. This is when I asked my guy friend to talk to him for me. My guy friend was more than willing to help, but the problem was when you're talking to somebody who doesn't think they did anything wrong, it's really hard to get through to them. So when my guy friend was trying to get him to understand what was wrong with what he did, he really did not understand. And that's when I realized that some people aren't going to change no matter what.